Hi, welcome to Maxim's 5th edition of the Inside Track. Today I've got my learned colleague John Hallow, who works with Maxim Foods, and myself, Dustin. Overnight we've seen a pretty significant drop in GDT, 7% across the board. All products came down bar buttermilk. Buttermilk's only small volume and trades every second GDT, but pretty significant decline from where futures predicted and where we thought. We'll start with full cream milk powder and get some of your thoughts on that, John.
Well, as we saw last night, full cream milk powder went down 7.3%, so it's its biggest drop in a long while, with some pretty buoyant pricing over the last 2 months. Mainly on the back of May figures of 6.6% increase in milk solids across New Zealand, just with sentiment sort of driving that.
Yeah, and coming into new season, I suspect the buyers are sitting there saying that there's more volume coming from NZ in particular, and more full cream going to be on the GDT platform, and potentially seeing some further downside on those volumes. Moving on to skim milk powder now. Johnny, how are you seeing that?
Well, India are looking to export about 60,000 tonne of Amul branded skim milk powder, which may put a fair bit of pressure on the global scene. What does it look like Australia and New Zealand for you, TB?
Yeah, we're still seeing NZ origin skim milk powder commanding about a US $200 a tonne premium on the GDT over European product and also US material. Still some trade wars going on between America and the Mexicans, who's their largest customer and very close by, so that may free up some US product as well. So we think that it might be flattish to possibly some pressure through until Christmas period.
Let's have a look at cheese now. Last night we saw a 4.3% decrease on the GDT. It's a bit of a question mark over cheese. It's a hard one to pick, but Dustin, if you can put any commentary around that.
Yeah, good point, Johnny. We've reduced milk volumes out of Europe, have kept cheese and butter sort of reasonably buoyant. However, the CME in the US has come under some pressure recently based on some inventory volumes over there. So yeah, tough one to really pick. Balance to softening a little bit for the next period. Okay, Johnny, let's move on to butter and AMF. What are your thoughts?
Dustin, AMF still remains the cheapest option on a per kg butterfat ratio against 82% butter. Global demand still outstrips supply, so pricing is still robust. However, the first time in a long time, we're starting to see a few signs of weakness.
Yeah, well, product butter out of the US is still the cheapest that we can access. It's not for all markets, however, on a pricing point of view, it's competitive. We're also seeing the EEX, the European futures price, starting to decline. We were up around that €6,000 a tonne mark, and heading out to December Q4, it's back to sort of €52.50 a tonne. So showing some signs of weakness there. However, these prices are still, very good dollars for fat. Moving on to whey lactose, as discussed last week, it has come off the lows there. We do have China, US trade wars going on, and they are a big consumer of US whey in particular. So we'll have to wait to see how that plays out. That could free up or put some pricing pressure back onto whey powder. However, feels reasonably buoyant at the moment. That wraps up this week's edition of Inside Track. Thanks very much, Johnny, for joining us.
Thanks, Dustin.
And we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks for further updates. Thank you.